If you've ever wanted to participate in a game jam or other game making contest, this video is right for you. Teal and I are going to teach you the ins and outs and some tips and tricks to mastering game jam game creation. Hello everyone, I'm Teal.
And I'm Teal.
And we're with Studio Blue.
Thank you for joining us for our Creator Classroom. Tonight's topic is how to make game jam games.
So we have Teal with us. While I was finishing up the RPG Maker stream earlier, she kind of gave me a little heads up, a little message on my phone saying I'm feeling better. So she's doing the best she can.
Yes. So if I have a little lisp, it's because my teeth aren't in.
Yes.
So that's how it is.
Yep. Hello, Wolf. Welcome to the stream. Apology for the second little bit of a technical difficulty there with the with us being muted at first. I had to switch things over right after the RPG Maker. We're gonna get it down.
Oh, we're fine.
It's one or two button presses.
Yes, I'm alive. Woo-hoo!
Hello, Valborn. Hello. So we put out the feelers. We actually told everybody on Hawk's stream, we're not trying to steal Hawk's viewers. Hawk, if you're listening, we're not trying to steal your viewers, man. But we have a couple of things. We have a giveaway tonight that is hosted by Wolf for a copy of RPG Maker MZ. Z, that's the new one that's out. Thank you so much for this. We will start that up in a few minutes, Wolf, if that's okay. Give that like a few minutes for people to cycle on in here, and then we'll get started on that. We also have an announcement that we're going to make, and then we'll jump into the presentation proper. Thank you so much, Wolf. Awesome. And I'll, of course, give you your shout out during the course of the giveaway. Hello, Vera. Welcome to the stream. Hey, if you guys had a chance to catch the RPG Maker theater earlier, I did. Horror Veil, which was freaking amazing. Please give that game some love. Check it out. Cattle prod shock you every time. Ha ha ha, Berkeleyos. Okay, so let me go ahead and take a swig here. So I have an announcement to make.
It's just one announcement.
Just one.
Not two.
Just one. But Teal wasn't there. Teal had...
Okay, because I had a bunch of sore places in my mouth, and I'm going to see the specialist tomorrow. So I took all my teeth out, and I was just trying to recover my mouth because it hurt a lot. So I'm better now, but I'm going to be lisping. That's just how it is. Sorry.
It's all right. Welcome to the stream, RPG Emma B. Hope you have a good time. Okay, so here's the quick announcement. And we did clear this. This is not going to be officially sponsored. This is all Studio Blue.
All us.
But starting in the month of September, Studio Blue is going to host a game jam. And it is called So You Bought MZ, Now Use It. So the whole purpose of this game jam is to promote moving forward with RPG Maker MZ. Yes, it is an MZ only game jam. We know that immediately excludes a lot of people. But the purpose is to get the people out there who have bought MZ to do something with it.
Yes.
So we're going to go tonight. That's the announcement. And Friday, we're going to go over the parameters of the game jam because we're like getting to near the end of the month.
Right.
So, so for those of you like, well, wait, we want to do MV. What about, no, this is an MZ game jam. We specifically want to promote RPG Maker MZ. But one of you is going to walk away with MZ. This is true, Cloud, but this is to promote RPG Maker MZ.
Yes.
So we came to this decision after some discussion. However, someone's going to walk away from tonight's stream with a copy of RPG Maker MZ, courtesy of Wolf.
Yay, Wolf!
So
woo-hoo!
We're going to talk a little bit about this presentation. Then we're going to go into the giveaway.
Yes.
Then we're going to go into the presentation proper. So let's talk a little bit about what this is about, and what this is to expect, and why we're actually doing something on making a game jam game. All right?
Oh, Cloud.
Cloud.
OMG.
Well, the thing is this, Cloud, a number of people have approached us about doing this. So over the course of this week, you may see more giveaways of MZ. Hey, Dras, welcome to the stream. So
yeah, so just hang on to your hats.
Hang on to your hats.
We may have more.
yes, indeed. All right. So what is the purpose of this presentation, Teal?
Okay. So this workshop is going to define what a game jam is. We'll give a brief history of them, and then we'll plot out a course to participate in one, whether it's solo or in a group, and we'll tackle each of the major hurdles that you'll encounter.
Yep.
Finally, we'll discuss 6 major pitfalls to avoid, and we'll offer several tips on each on how to conquer them.
Yes.
And we'll openly discuss what you look for in a game jam.
Right.
Now, the advice given in this workshop is
Right.
based on our experiences participating in game jams, as well as hosting or judging them.
Right.
Also, we will draw upon Teal's experience participating in several 48-hour and 72-hour film festivals. This is a discussion-based classroom, so y'all throw up questions
100%.
during the presentation. We'll answer them. It's going to be like a nice back and forth.
Right.
So that's going to be our open floor.
Right. And a quick bit of background here, so we're not pontificating too much on why we're mentioning the film festivals. As you all know from those who talk with me and visit with me and follow me, I was involved in the film industry and in film prior to Hurricane Katrina smashing New Orleans and us coming here to Houston, which doesn't have much of a film industry. However, a lot of the 48-hour film festivals are still here.
Yes, they are.
In Houston. And participating in those kind of keep my skills fresh. But when Teal and I started doing this, started putting this classroom together, we realized there's a lot of similarities between game jams, especially the short ones, and film festivals.
Yes, there is.
They're very, very similar. Don't worry, Cloud, we're going to give you love at some point. So just keep that in mind, that at some points, if I'm talking about things related from a film festival, it's close enough.
Yeah.
But we try to translate everything over to game jam theory.
Yeah.
Because they're very close. Okay, yeah, Game Jelly. Hello, human. Welcome to the stream. And Joss and everyone else who just showed up. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Here we go. So let's do the giveaway first.
Let's do that.
All right, and then we'll get started on the proper part of it. So let's go ahead and do this. All right, so this is for one copy of RPG Maker MZ. I'm going to give, let's set the timer for 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
And we'll kind of go through the first couple of slides. So the giveaways should be opening up right about now. There we go. There we go. All right. Fantastic. So now all you got to do is just hang out for a while and listen to our silly butts talk. Dross. Cloud couldn't go fast enough. Okay. Let me go ahead and get this started here. Now, let me give the little bit of the shout out and the love. Hey, Queen, welcome, Nefarious Queen. All right, so this giveaway has been sponsored by Wolf. Wolf has been with Studio Blue's fandom since pretty much the beginning.
Yes.
We first really got to know Wolf during our first game jam, our 100 subscriber game jam.
That's right.
Where he entered Winter's End, which was a great Viking-based game. And he ended up winning the fun category, the overall fun, because Teal and I love us some Vikings.
Oh, I love them.
We're down with it. And
love all the Norse mythology.
Love all the Norse mythology. He had things like he chose silver was what they were going for, which was the main metal back then.
Yes.
The shield maiden Freya was mwah.
Love the shield maiden.
And so, yes, us. Hopefully, Wolf, your ears are turning red because you've always been a great friend of ours. And we love you to death. And the mead. The mead. So, Wolf, thank you so much for sponsoring this. Let's see who wins. Oh, you. And remember, Skarn belongs to the Nords. So, shall we begin?
Let's begin. And I heard that. We're still a house divided.
Hello, Graceless. Welcome to the stream. All right, let's talk about this. What is a game jam?
What is a game jam?
I gotta do a thing.
Okay. So, for those who don't know, a game jam is an event, usually a contest, that gets game developers together to stretch their skills by creating a game in a short amount of time.
Yes.
This emulates the pressure of a deadline, such as crunch time, to force developers to put only what is exactly needed into a game project.
Cloud's on your side.
Oh, thank you. See, we got some smart people on here.
Oh yeah, Winter's End needs to be a full game. So yes, I know people a lot around do the game jams because it's a contest and they want to win the prizes, but truly the purpose is to stretch your skills.
Yeah.
By simulating a crunch, you force yourself to put only what is needed to make a game as best as it can be.
Right.
Jam is made by squashing games under your yes.
Yeah,
And then,
that's a good jam. Sometimes it's grape and sometimes it's
and then
strawberry.
they put it in a game jar for it to preserves and stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Now, some jams limit the scope to engines.
Right. Like
or
ours.
The themes, or even specific elements.
Yep.
For example, you may be limited to only the Unreal or Unity engines.
Right.
Or you may be forced to create a psychological horror game.
Guys are great.
You may even be required to put in a certain type of character, a color, a place, thing, or even phrase.
Right. Like, for example, in the last 48-hour film festival that I was a part of, you had to have a character of a certain name. They had a male and a female version. You had to have a certain prop, and you had to say this line exactly as it was written somewhere in it. If you did not meet those three, no matter how good your movie was, it was disqualified.
Yeah.
So game jams can do the exact same thing.
The duration of the official game jams are usually short.
Yes.
Traditionally, they are 48 to 72 hours.
Right.
And they still are for some professional contests where the participants are in person. If they are being done remotely, such as over the internet,
which is what we're familiar with,
then they can be done over the course of 1 to several weeks.
Right. This still is, it's a short time. You want to create as short a time as possible. Hey, if you just showed up, make sure to hit that exclamation point pick me to try to win a copy of RPG Maker MZ sponsored by Wolf.
Game jams can require solo participants or teams.
Yes.
They can be ranked. And they can have a set number of winners and even prize awards.
Right. The true reward, of course, is your skill set increasing, but the incentive is often either a cash prize or keys, or it just depends on the game jam.
Right.
Some of the stuff that I've done in the past prior to the RPG Maker community, where it was those crunch contests, it would literally be like your game is then promoted on a site.
Right.
Or your game is then given a development stipend to actually turn into a fuller game.
Right.
And then there's a lot of ones that just give, cash prizes, $1,000, $500, whatever. So it just really depends. Okay, we're going to move on.
Okay. So.
And we are going to probably halter on this one when the contest, which is almost over, finishes. So if you haven't entered, exclamation point pick me, one word for your copy of RPG Maker MZ, so you can try to win it. All right, let's do this.
The history of the game jam. Computer programming contests have been around since at least the 1980s.
Yep.
Focusing on everything from high school to college to the private sector.
Hello, Ronald. Welcome to the stream. It's fine.
However, the first actual game jam is credited to 5 game developers.
Yes.
Chris Hecker, Sean Barrett, Doug Church, Jonathan Blow, and Casey Muratori.
And you might actually remember who some of these people are. One of them was one of the developers of Braid, I believe. Yeah.
In 2002, they decided to create a game engine capable of rendering a massive number of on-screen models.
100,000 simple models. That they called them what?
Dudes.
The dudes, yeah.
The dudes.
So they were sitting around and going, hey, today's hardware is not being utilized fully in our game engines. Can we make one that has, a bunch of dudes on screen? And if so, if the dudes are simple enough, how many can we put? And then they were like a ton, and they got up to 100,000.
To test out the wacky new technology and to have fun, they invited a group of developers to Hecker's office in Oakland, California to create video games over a short amount of time.
Hey, Dog Fox. Welcome to the stream.
Overall, 14 developers created 12 experimental games in 4 days. This event was coined the 0th Indie Game Jam and became the first of many.
Yes, stadiums, actually a lot of the programming contests I used to go in back as a kid in high school were in stadiums, stuff like that. So stadiums, convention centers,
those large exhibition halls.
Yes, and you'll have like just your desks of your teams. You sign up, you have, you bring your own equipment, whatever, and then boom.
And you do hit it.
And you hit it, and it's like 48 to 72 hours. Do they still host those? Obviously, with the pandemic, they don't do them as much, and most are now done over the internet.
Yeah.
But they still host these from time to time, and nice, big, huge place.
Yeah.
All right.
How are we on the giveaway?
Just a few more minutes. So
Okay.
let's talk a little bit about these in general. So it kind of came. So we've always had contests stretching your skills. Game Jam contests have always existed.
Yeah.
Hey, you got the last few minutes. Pick me. Yeah.
Pick me.
Exclamation point, pick me to try to win a copy of RPG Maker MZ, sponsored by Wolf. So yes, these things have always been happening for the longest time. You know, you've had like your chess tournaments, your speech and debate tournaments, well, computer tournaments, and then these guys here, Hecker and the rest of them, decided, let's just go all the way. You know, and see how far we can go. And then it just, that 0th Indie Game Jam ended up spawning a bunch of indie game jams.
It did.
And then
The snowball effect.
And now we have them, and they're all the time, whether it be in the RPG Maker community, Unreal, Unity, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter anymore.
People have them all over.
Yes.
So, yeah, if you like being in game jams, you actually have these 5 guys to thank for back in 2002. I'm going to go ahead and check and see where we're at.
Where are we at?
Yeah, we should be getting near the end and ready for the person to... Yep, it's getting close. Okay. We are at 1 minute and 20 seconds. So if you are listening, now is your chance to try to grab a copy of RPG Maker MZ, sponsored by Wolf. And this, now we'll make the announcement again. Studio Blue, during the month of September, is going to host a RPG Maker MZ game jam. It's called You Got It, Now Use It.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's an RPG Maker MZ game jam. This Friday, we're going to go over the details. So if you have a copy of RPG Maker MZ, or will get one within the next couple of days or weeks, you have a shot at being a part of our game jam, where we are promoting use of the new RPG Maker MZ engine.
And I, for one, am very excited to see what you guys do with it.
Yes. Welcome, Spider Lily, to the stream. Yeah, we want to see what you guys do. We are trying to promote this new engine. Let's make it happen.
Yes.
See where it goes. Yeah, well, human, we are too. We are too. Hello, Jamie PC. So yeah, we are pushing it, punching it. And hopefully we got 30 seconds left, 20 seconds left. It's coming down the wire.
Come on, guys.
So Studio Blue is going to sponsor it this Friday. Come to our AMA. We'll start off after the first few minutes, and we'll give the rules to the jam, and then we'll put it up on Itch.
And we'll also put it up on
Itch.
Itch, yes.
And our Discord channel. And we're going to sponsor it, and we'll tell you when the start date is.
Yeah, right.
Like, we're not going to release until the start date, the one requirement, like either a theme or a requirement. We're going to leave that alone. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
All right, let us see who the winner is.
Drum roll.
Drum roll.
And?
The winner is Ronald. You have won. All right.
Woo, Ronald.
Congratulations. Ronald's like, So Ronald, you're going to want to get with Wolf. The lurker got it. They all knows I didn't buy it. The AI knows.
Yes.
Congratulations, Ronald. Thank you so much for lurking, following, being a part of things, and congratulations, Wolf.
Thank you, Wolf, for this. Yes.
Yep. Now, we're going to have more of these throughout the week. Well, as people continue to come to us, we've had a couple people express interest.
Yes.
And as they host these, we're going to continue to have these contests.
Absolutely.
So there it is. Yeah, Cloud, don't worry, man. You got this. We got you, man. We're always on you. We're always on you, buddy. So, all right, let us get back to the presentation. Congratulations, Ronald. Yeah, I know, money is tight. And Ronald, hopefully we'll see you in our game jam.
Yeah, we hope to see you, Ronald.
You know what? I got Cloud.
Oh, Cloud.
Well, don't worry, Cloud. Your game is coming soon for Monday night. So, you know, we see you, Princess Mayumi. Don't worry, we haven't been ignoring you. So, you are coming up at some point.
Yeah.
Trust us. We wouldn't do you dirty, buddy.
Okay, so do we want to jump into the meat of the presentation, which is what everybody's here for, the game jam.
That's it. So let's talk about making a game jam. Are you ready, Teal?
We're ready.
Are you guys ready? Let's do this thing. All right. We love you, Cloud. No worries, buddy. All right.
Okay. Creating a game for a game jam. To create the game, first you need to understand the parameters of the event itself. Unlike those first game jams, which were limitless to encourage innovation, most nowadays require more stringent parameters for entry. To that end, it is important to understand the event's rules parameters, deadlines, etc.
Yes.
This is solely to have your entry judged and potentially placed. If you just want to create a game with no concern over it being looked at, then hey, do what you wish.
And we've had people do that, not just in our game jams, but in Drifty's 5th annual that we judged in this summer. We have people who will go, you know what, I'm entering just to push myself and motivate myself to make something.
Yeah.
But I'm doing whatever, and I do not care whether or not I place.
And that's great. That's fine, because the whole point is to stretch your skills.
Stretch your skills as hard as you can. So don't feel like you have to. It's more important you make than you place. Hey, Soft Sticks, welcome to the stream. Sorry, the contest just ended.
It just ended.
The giveaway
Sorry,
just ended.
But we're going to have more, so don't worry. We'll have more.
Yes.
Okay, as part of creating, make sure that you sign up in the allotted time frame.
Yeah, just
please.
Yeah.
If the event requires teams, make sure that they are all signed up as well.
And that's really important too. But this is getting to the next point. Always Soft Six. Great to have you here. Let us talk about the most important thing that people overlook in game jams, especially the online ones. And this goes to my personal experience in film festivals. This is a great place to network.
Yes.
So let's talk about that.
So this is a great, as Teal said, it's a great opportunity to network. A way for solo developers to find and join teams so they can stretch their skills with others. There is nothing wrong with, for example, saying that you are a sprite artist looking for a team to join, or that you are a level designer who wants to work with others.
Exactly.
The whole point is to network.
Network. Become a part of the industry and the community. So for you all in the RPG Maker community, this is anytime there's an RPG Maker game jam, use it to get in with other people. Don't try to be just an island of one, although there's nothing wrong with that. Try to get in with other people, especially if it's a team project.
Yes.
And let us talk very briefly about my experience in film festivals here in Houston. I have a cinematography background. However, one of the horror film festivals I was a part of, they needed an actor. I don't usually act, despite my vocal talents. I'm a little shy in front of the camera. So they needed someone with my height and build to play a certain role. And I ended up placing, not first, but I ended up placing as an actor for that horror film.
And that was really neat to place.
It stretched my skills. It forced me to push myself as an actor, when normally I'm just like cinematography. So if you have a skill set you want to develop and you have a team looking for something, push yourself. And then network with those people. And next thing you know, you may have a team that's willing to make a game out of the game jam that you're a part of, and you can have a real credit in a real indie game.
Absolutely.
There you go. So shall we move on?
Let's move on. Do we have any questions?
We do have a game jam winner. Yes, our Archeia human. I can never human did Metastasis.
Yes.
Which was the winner of Drifty's 5th annual game jam, which was that amazing game with little creepy Tina. So good.
Tina.
So good. Using save points as a game mechanic. Oh my god. All right, here we go.
Okay.
The meat.
So, under creating a game jam.
Reverie, I'm not going to show you guys my face. But I will. I'll tell you what. I'll take a picture of the. Of the award, so you guys can see I'm not BSing.
Yeah.
And I'll cross out my name and the name of the movie.
We'll just redact it.
We'll redact it. But I will show that to you guys on Friday.
Okay. So what do? You brainstorm. Once you have the prerequisite parameters of the contest, sit down with your team if there is one.
Yes.
And brainstorm the high-level concept of your game.
Yes.
Using the thematic and engine parameters, if there are any.
A lot of people go directly... Spider, that's hilarious. I might do that.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I might do that. That's funny. Okay, I'm going to put a pin on that one for later.
Put a pin on that, because that's actually a good idea.
That's funny as heck. Okay, so... Brainstorming is important, and a lot of people who do game jams miss that step. They just say, I have an idea, and I run with it. Brainstorming, actively brainstorming, especially with a team member or someone you can bounce ideas off of, is very important.
Yes, it is. Yep. Drass brainstorms by mapping.
There you go. Well, but it's still brainstorming.
But that is a brainstorming technique.
Yes, it is.
The mapping technique.
Right, and mind mapping, which is literally a visual representation, is just very valid.
That's actually what I was referring to.
Mind mapping.
Mind mapping, yes.
Well, what Drass is saying is he opens up and starts making a map and then goes, I'm getting an idea. Yes. Absolutely human. Brainstorm and then burn most of it.
You're right.
Yes. And everybody has different ways of doing it. There's no wrong or right way.
No, just as long as you're brainstorming all the different ideas. But once you had the basic concept, theme, and general execution of your idea ready, plot out the game script.
Yes.
That's not the same as a movie script.
No.
But it's a rough outline of how the game will play out, including the gameplay loop. This script will get revised, deviated from, and sometimes even thrown out. But it's important to be organized, especially if you're part of a team.
Now, I don't know if I actually put this in the notes or not, or if I just literally talk about this as an anecdote. But the movie that I ended up acting in, we revised it literally minutes before shooting. And that happens all the time. So for you guys, hello, Marta. For you guys, it's okay to change and deviate. It's a living thing.
Right. It's a script that you follow, but you don't have to just, it's not in stone. So you can revise it as long as you do have kind of a roadmap you're following.
Yes.
Once the game is plotted out, add in any other required elements as you refine it into something you and or your team can use.
Right.
Okay. Required elements, plugins or...
plugins, resources, that kind of thing. Yes. Actually, resources comes later, but
finally, create your list of resources.
That's next. Right.
If you have artists, composers, and other asset creators on your team, then this needs to be pretty detailed and accurate.
Yep.
If you are using free or purchased assets, you can be more fluid.
Right. So just think about it like that, especially if you're going to have custom artwork. Like, for example, one of the winners of our first game jam, Barry B, everything was custom.
Yes, it was custom.
Barry had to take that into account when developing Lily Renewal. And yes, to quote a famous pirate, they're more like guidelines. Exactly.
Yes, it is. Guidelines. Yes.
A lot of the rules we're going over right now are guidelines. It's not until we get to the pitfalls that we're talking more of like, here's some really good things you could consider. Everything right now, just do what you feel is right. Just these are guidelines.
Yeah, we're just trying. You just want to stay organized.
Yes.
This is a very critical part of the whole creating your game.
Right.
Is the very beginning.
Right.
Organization.
It all comes down to it. The more organized you are, knowing that you're going to deviate from the organization, the better. Yeah.
And this overall process, the brainstorming and the scripting and the refining, should only take a few hours.
Yes.
Because you really want to devote the bulk of your time to creating the actual game.
Which we're going to move over to that now.
Okay, after you've done all your brainstorming and scripting, now you want to start gathering your resources.
Yep.
What resources should you focus on first?
Right.
You want to put priority on the ones that are necessary for game functionality and level design.
Yep.
Things such as on-screen sprites or models, sound effects, and music. They can always be placed later on.
Right.
Start with what you need to make the game work.
So a lot of times when Teal and I talk about the game development life cycle, we talk about early alpha, late alpha, beta, silver, gold.
Right.
You want to make sure that you streamline the process simply because of literally your time limitation. So what we're doing is we're giving you guidelines, tips on how to streamline that. So the first thing you want to do is gather the resources that are only need to make that alpha, that literal functional game that runs from start to finish.
Right.
You can always add in stuff later.
So all your resource gathering, this also includes your custom resources.
Yep.
If you're part of a team, get any artists, composers, etc. to start on those soon.
Yes.
You've got to have time.
Yes.
To do these. If you are a solo developer, put priority on either the functional parts, like the scripts,
right,
or ones that will inspire you to complete the game, like artwork.
Yep.
However, keep in mind that any change to a custom resource can cost you valuable time.
So please, by all means, don't do that to yourself. Don't make something and then say, I can't use it. Only make what you need. And yes, Berkeley, you're absolutely correct. Engineering approach. Make something that works, then make it pretty.
Correct. That is right.
Yeah,
yes.
If you thrive on, Drass says he thrives on chaos, and Drass is extremely good. However, to save yourself heartache, it's easiest if you go bare bones and then pretty, and then prettier and prettier and prettier.
That's correct.
Yeah.
All right, after you've got your resources, plot out any maps and start to create your game level by level until you have a functional alpha.
Functional alpha, that's the word.
It's perfectly okay to use placeholders until later in the process, especially if you're working with custom artwork that another person is creating.
So one of the things, going back to an anecdote about one of the film festivals I was in, the one that actually smoke checked one year and won a ton of awards, what they did was they had a director, composer, special effects artist, and a few others, and when they got their parameters, what they did was they plotted out, they brainstormed the initial idea, and then the composer went into another area, just completely separate, and started composing the soundtrack. And made a bunch of sounds, a bunch of music and sounds. Their Foley artist started making sounds. They started kind of filling in what they know they needed.
Yeah.
And then when they finished the principal photography and started getting into the editing, the composer and the Foley artist stayed in case they had to make any tweaks. You know, while others were focusing more on editing or whatever. They cleaned house. And if I can find the copy of their movie, I'll go ahead and link it. I was not in this one, but they cleaned house because they worked as a team and just they followed that engineering mindset of functional pretty, functional pretty, functional pretty.
They did.
Yeah. All right. Moving on.
Move on. Next one. Next slide. Okay. When your alpha is complete.
What's grammar?
Add in the non-essential features.
Yep.
And any dialogue. And then start to play test your game.
Yes.
You should be able to get from start to finish.
No breaks.
There will be bugs, so take note of them if you want, or ignore them until actual beta testing.
Right. The whole point is you're looking for game-breaking bugs, not, oh, this thing's over here. Not. If you stop every 5 seconds to fix little glitches and minor bugs,
oh, you'll never get through it.
Don't do it. Just only game breaks.
Fix your big game-breaking bugs.
Just another way for the man to keep you down.
Yeah, and grammar is the same thing. Wait till the very end to fix your grammar.
Yeah, that should be one of the last.
Because that's one of the last things you fix.
Specifically, you for Cloud for You, since English is not your first language, make that be the last thing you fix.
Yeah.
Do everything else and then do that last.
Once you can get from start to finish of your game without breaks, start adding in the graphics, the music, the sounds, etc.
Yep.
Then play test your game again from start to finish. You are now in the beta phase of the game. Play test your game thoroughly, trying to eliminate as many bugs as possible. Bugs will kill your performance, so keep testing until you are either certain the game is as ready as it will be, or the deadline is a few hours away.
And you want to wait a few hours because of?
Use those remaining few hours to package your game as the judges require. If possible, move that packaged copy to another computer and play test it there.
Yep.
Turn your game in before the deadline. Very few judges will give any leeway, even if there is an emergency that stopped you from submitting.
We actually had to disqualify someone who was literally 15 minutes late.
Yeah.
Because we had to stand by that rule. The film festivals here in Houston, if you're 1 minute, if you're not in that room, the submission room at the restaurant or hotel or whatever, 1 minute past 7 p.m., you are disqualified. You can still submit the game and it will still be looked at by everyone. It will still be shown publicly, but you cannot place.
He means film, not game.
Did I say film? Yeah, film.
You said game, but film.
Yes. Right.
Yeah. These time deadlines.
They're hard and
are hard deadlines.
In human, if you go ahead and you allow stuff like that, that's up to you. But most don't.
Because it sets a bad precedent.
Right.
So if one person gets away with it, right?
The rules.
And the rule. Yes, you're right, Wolf. Absolutely, the rules become a joke.
You know, we had a great game that we played for our game jam that couldn't place because it was well past our time limit. So, I mean, yes, game jam runners can do whatever they want, but they have to apply the rules across the board.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Moving on?
Yes. Let's move on to the next one.
All right.
Okay, this is our take on game jam games.
Yes.
From our experience throughout the years, games that are tested very thoroughly and that the judges can finish relatively quickly are more likely to place than ones that are untested or are very long.
Right.
While this is not an absolute.
And you are correct, human.
And we have no data supporting this outside of our experience.
Right.
Both RPG Maker game jams that we have participated in had games win that followed those parameters and focused on a single powerful feature or thematic element.
So let's talk about that.
Yes.
What examples?
So, for example, Ibu during the Studio Blue 100 sub game jam.
Yes.
And Metastasis in the Driftwood Gaming 5th annual game jam.
Right. So, for example, if y'all remember our first game jam, Ibu was one of the 3 that placed, along with Winter's End and Lily Renewal.
And Lily Renewal.
And Ibu had a very unique mechanic of using quick time events in battles.
Yes.
Except instead of fighting, you were doing aerial tricks because you were like a scarf.
You were a circus performer.
A circus performer.
Yes.
So that stood out.
Mm-hmm.
And then with Metastasis, which Human was a developer for, it was the central idea was using save points as a puzzle mechanic.
Yes.
And when Teal and I played Metastasis, along with that one and the one where you had to use keywords and then one more, we were like, one of these 3 is going to place.
Mm-hmm.
And we called it.
Yeah.
And we were not surprised when Human's game placed because it did what it was quick.
Mm-hmm.
You got through it. It had a central feature that it was focused around.
Yeah.
Yes, and that is right there, the thing. And yeah, Dog says deployment is the big problem. It is.
Yeah.
That's why you want to give yourself about 3 to 4 hours to test the deployment of your game.
Yes.
You've got to give yourself time because that will, you can lose that. It's like, think of it as if you had to physically get up from where you're editing your film or making your game and travel across your city to drop off the thumb drive with your final product.
Yes.
It's the same concept.
Mm-hmm.
So think on that. Always give yourself that extra time. All right, shall we move on?
Time is precious.
Yeah, and by the way, if you guys want to throw out questions, go ahead.
Yeah. I just was saying time is very precious in these things.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Love that game. All right, here we go.
Okay, now these are pitfalls to avoid.
Right.
Okay, these are things that we have seen or experienced.
Yes.
And they are absolutely killers for the games involved.
These are 6 things. That is hilarious. The flat slime. That is hilarious.
Flat slime.
And Murdo says, I avoid nothing. So these are 6 of these, and we have noted that these are probably the biggest like kicker in the balls. These are the most likely to stop you from either finishing or placing. All right.
Please, first and foremost, avoid making a long game, as not only will it increase the chance of the game not being finished by yourself or the judges, but it will reduce the overall chance to place, as it will give the judges too much to think about to properly score.
So as judges for game jams in the past, and as participants in contests, we can tell you the more the judge has to dissect every aspect of your game, the less chance your game's going to place.
Yeah.
I'm not saying people is dumb. People are not dumb, but people want to focus on the overall product, not every single little minutia. Yeah, everyone loves 45 minutes of random encounters.
Thank you. Yeah. So try to go for a gameplay time of 30 minutes to an hour, even if it's an RPG.
You be nice, Murda. Yes, please. Keep it that.
Yeah, the shorter end of the spectrum, the better.
Hey, Simpros, welcome to the streams. First off, Dress, yes, random encounters are a thing. And Simpros, yeah, basically, finish it quickly. Finish quickly. Final product finished quickly.
Shorter, more impactful games usually place better than longer games, even if they are epic.
Right.
Again, this is not an absolute.
Right.
And you can place with a game that is as cinematic and amazing, but that is the exception and not the rule.
And this comes from years of experience. And if anyone else has either hosted in or played in a game jam and has seen that, feel free. If you disagree, that's fine. Feel free as well to let us know that. But we have seen that it's the exception where the long epic games win.
That's the exception, not the rule. I honestly, it's been a while since I've seen a long game place.
Yes.
Here's a pro tip. When you go through your first playthrough, that's during your alpha test.
During the alpha.
If the game takes you, the developer, longer than 20 minutes to complete, it may be too long.
Because we always say developer playtime does not translate to player playtime, and it especially does not equate to judge playtime.
Right.
Double a special if they're on stream. So you want to take that maximum time, which is 60 minutes, and cut it in a third.
Yep.
And that's a good benchmark. You, the developer, are going to go through it quickly. If
Yes,
you
you
get
are.
through it in longer than 20 minutes, you might want to consider cutting.
Yeah.
Let's see. Cloud says
Who's
random
that?
encounters, sometimes a nightmare. I do also.
Yes.
For RPG Maker games, I absolutely
Yeah.
recommend on-screen encounters using the events instead of random encounters using the RNG for RPG Maker, any version.
Yes.
And it tends to get unfocused when you're long. Exactly, Graceless. He's experienced.
Because judges, you got to think these judges are playing through a lot of games, and
Yes.
and depending on how many entries there were. I mean, these judges can be doing 30 games a day.
30 games a day. Yeah. You're especially if it's a really big game jam. Like
So
when we did the 5th annual Drifty Game Jam, we were like, okay, we have this many, we're going to do it in 3 weeks, and we're going to do a glut, make our video, call it a day, not do anything for a while, and then go back, because it was like, oh, that's a lot of entries.
There was a lot of entries.
Lot of entries. I don't really do random encounters in my game. That's probably good, RPG Emma.
My point is to keep it short for the judges' sake, because judges have so many games to go through. If it's long, they're just going to say, I can't deal with this.
You want your game, you want to make sure your game gets as much attention from the judges as humanly possible. It was a lot, Simpros. Yeah. It was, I don't know if it was 60, but it was a lot.
It was a lot of entries.
It was a lot. Okay, public voters have literally no patience. You're not wrong.
You're not wrong.
Imagine after battle random encounter one step. Yeah, exactly. It slows you down. Okay.
Okay, here's another pitfall.
Right.
Okay.
Happy slimes.
Never undervalue presentation.
Never.
A solid, powerful presentation that includes UI, music, graphics, cinematics will always wow the judges. However, don't focus solely on presentation.
Please don't.
Substance and playability is just as important.
So it's also important to note that pop at the beginning, that things you see, that's important. However, if that's all it is just pop, then you've got no substance. So you got to find a balance, but don't think you can get away just with bare bones just because. Use those auto run events and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Secrets have been given.
Here's a tip.
Right.
Have some kind of short and impactful opening cinematic.
Yep.
Any cinematics for important moments in the game, and some kind of closing credits. Be sure to thank the judges and the hosts.
Highly, highly, highly recommend, if you haven't, go watch our Let's Play of Winter's End by Wolf.
Yeah.
That one was perfect in how it used just the RTP graphics, or just the in-game graphics, no hand-drawn anything, to have a good opening, important points, and ending. Brilliantly done. If Wolf is still on here. But seriously, in fact, if someone wants to throw that link on there, recommend it, watch it. It's a good example of how to do that.
And here's another tip. Never start a game with the player in direct control of the character. Even if there is a 10-second introduction or quick exhibition, do something that gives the player an idea of what is happening and what to do.
Yes, you're very welcome, BG. And yeah, you're welcome, Dog Fox. We're not. This is not a cheat sheet. We're trying to help you guys.
Right.
But yes, do not have the game. They press new game and they're moving the character. Don't do that. Even if it's literally just 5 seconds of the character going, I just woke up. Now I have to go do a thing. That's something. Yeah. What we got?
What we got here?
Does the intro need to be pictured or animated? Anything other than just controlling the character, and the intro could be just. I find scrolling text to be kind of boring, so maybe have a map pan while you do it.
Yeah. So some kind of. I would focus more on a graphic or cinema rather than a wall of text.
Yes, exactly what Simpros just said. A black screen with text. So remember the opening to Final Fantasy VI, guys?
Yeah.
Where they just pan I think it's like Narsh or some part of the world.
I forget which one it was.
And they have, magic ceased to exist. Something like that. It will take you 5 minutes to make a map. Well, 5 minutes. Take a few minutes to make a map, then to do the text, and then just push the text up while you're panning That's all you need.
Right, because now you have some kind of image to focus on.
Now, what Berkelios is talking about, yes, because it's iconic, it also is recognizable as being an opening. An intro cutscene, yeah, anything like that. Don't do a black screen with a wall of text, and don't just give us direct control of the character, please. The world's history of the world intro has been history of the world. Yes, Impros, exactly.
Yeah.
Don't put all of the history of your entire world in your intro, especially a game jam. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wait for that for the full version, and then still don't do that. All right, shall we move on?
Yeah. Okay. So here's another pitfall.
Yeah.
Okay. Slow openings with a lot of exhibition do not belong in a game jam.
Right.
And we just talked about that with the text.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. Yeah. Time to pop popcorn.
Yeah. So here's a tip. Make sure the player has full control of the character in less than a minute of pressing start.
Which goes off of what Simpros just said. Not even a game jam. Even not game jam, that's bad. Yeah. Don't have your game be super long. They're not here to watch a movie. They're here to play a game. I love Xenosaga.
Yes.
I hated the beginning of Xenosaga.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, am I supposed to watch a movie? Is this a movie? Did I get the right game?
Yeah. I like the intro to Xenogears better, even though that game had its own problems with text. When you saw like a 1.5 minute animated film of like a spaceship getting blown up.
Yep.
And then next thing you know, you're running around Faye's town, getting ready to jump down into wells and fight spiders.
Into wells, yes.
Yeah, don't overdo the Kojima. Please don't.
Okay. Tip number 2. Consider starting media in res.
Please do.
Which means in the thick of the action.
So to speak, yeah. Yeah, if you can start your game media in res, that's amazing. One of the ones we played for Drifties was the one with the damn space shooter where we had to run around the pipe ship.
Yes. Pipes.
But it was cool because we were media in res. We literally started with them breaking in and doing a rescue. So you don't always have to do media in res. You don't always have to jump in the thick of the action like, the desperados in a stagecoach. A train robbery. You don't always have to start with, some guy running for his life, but it helps. It is something to consider.
Just consider it.
Like Drass said, short intro and then action. Bam, done. Moving on.
Right.
Yep.
You just want to avoid that slow opening.
Yes, a 20 minutes of long text scrolls.
Because if you're boring people from the very beginning, they're just going to put your game aside.
Yeah, not to sit here and pump our own work, but when we did the MV demo of Rosenhearts, you hit the start button. You have the option to read text or not. And if you skip that option and you don't read the opening explanation of the demo, you legit just go to the logo, Victoria opening up her eye, and boom, you got her.
Yeah.
So do something like that. You want to time it about a minute to a minute and 30 seconds.
Right.
Power to the options. I like media in res. It is. Exactly. Yeah. Because people are like, why is this guy running for his life? Why are these people robbing this train? Absolutely. Win a battle within a few minutes. Some type of conflict, human. Exactly.
Yeah, that's good. Opening up with a fight. I've seen a lot of games do that. Yep. You're opening up and it seems like it's a final battle between some huge pumped up hero and some really overpowered villain. And that's good.
That's good. Final Fantasy VII Remake. You start off, and Final Fantasy VII, the original, you start off jumping off a train and beating the shit out of people.
Right.
Literally within seconds. So
yeah.
Don't wake up in bed, have explore town for 30 minutes before I kill something.
Oh, human,
now,
that's right.
I will say this. There are games that can do it right. And again, the exceptions and not the rules. Chrono Trigger.
But that's not a game jam game.
Right.
That's the issue.
That's a full game.
That is a full game.
So anytime it's a game jam game, do not look at the beginnings of Chrono Trigger and go, I can do that. Don't do that. Yes.
All right, let's go to another pitfall, shall we?
We have the King Slime making an appearance. You too can have the King Slime.
Boring the judges is the kiss of death.
It is. It is.
That, yes.
You're not gonna place if you bore the judges. I guarantee you that.
You want to avoid long scenes, heavy and protracted dialogue, and too much exhibition.
Yep.
That's your first tip. Your next tip. If combat exists, keep it short and sweet. Find other ways to challenge the judges other than giving them enemies with lots of health.
Yes, no.
Use statuses, use buffs, boss phases. But even then, please don't overcomplicate it.
Right, your chance to show off how cool you are at making complex, difficult bosses is not a game jam.
That's not,
what he said, Cade's Pendant. Yes, very good way to start it off. And the beginning of Uncharted 2 where Drake, or Uncharted 3, whichever one was where Drake wakes up on a collapsed train that's about to fall into the Himalayas. That is such a good opening to a game. Things like that. What was the game we played last week? Cinderella.
The Misadventures of Cinderella.
Brilliant game, but the boss fights were over complex for a game jam game. So let's move on.
Okay, third tip.
Yes.
Any sequence within the game, from a cutscene to a battle, should not last more than 3 minutes.
Now, this is just mathematically working the law of averages. Do not take that as an absolute and say Studio Blue is saying everything has to be 3 minutes or less.
No, that's not it.
But if you look at how things go, 3 minutes is a good attention span to move on to something else. So keep that in mind. Now, this is not them stopping every few minutes to talk like we do during our streams, or Hawk or whoever, Drifty. Don't count that. Just playing it through 3 minutes is a good benchmark for keeping a person's attention. Now, there's going to be some of you in chat who go, 3 minutes, I can't handle a minute. That's fine. We're just giving an average based off of our experience.
Right.
Not an absolute. Okay.
And here's another tip. Calculate all of these times without considering the judge's commentary, should they be streaming online.
Right.
If you create a game that an offline judge would take 20 minutes to complete.
Right.
And they take 50 minutes to stream it, that's not on you.
No, it's not. It's not. Which is one of the reasons why this upcoming game jam, we're not going to put a hard limit on time. Because, for example, the one game we're talking about, Tatronus, which was a great game, we had to disqualify it because it took us 60, not even 60, it was almost 2 hours.
It was 2 hours, yeah.
For an hour, when we said an hour was a hard limit, but a lot of it was us stopping and talking. So just keep that in mind. Don't look at it as if the judge takes 50 minutes to stream my game that took my friend who had never played it 20 minutes, that's more on the judge than not you. So don't worry about that.
So don't worry about that one. The most important thing to take away from this is keep the action going.
Right.
Keep every scene, every sequence.
Yes.
Short and sweet. Sweet. Between 1 and 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Transition. 1 to 3 minutes. Transition. Just keep going. Keep going.
Not for the judges.
Yes.
And if they're playing either an action sequence or a battle, or they're moving around shooting something, that's not boring.
Right.
That's engagement. We're talking about a boss fight, an exhibition scene, a cut scene. What Dog Fox says, the trick is not making long animation sequences.
That is correct, yes.
Keep it simple, short, and sweet. You can always wow people in your full games later on. Vero says, my boss battle, for the Mortem Gangers.
18, yeah.
That, right, exactly. And we loved Mortem Gangers, Vero.
Yeah,
that was a brilliant concept where you kill someone and you become that person and get their powers. But yeah, that boss battle, now it took us a lot less time than it took Drifty and T, considerably, because we had just the right combination of buffers, attackers, and healers. So we tore your boss to pieces, both of them, the mini boss and the final boss. But that was luck on our side. If we didn't have the exact right classes at that moment, it would have taken us that or longer.
Right.
So yeah.
But you learned from that.
Right. No worries there. Your game was great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Are we moving on?
Let's move on. Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to our slime of culture. What does he have to say?
All right. And this is what we're always preaching here.
We preach this so much.
Always show, don't tell.
Thank you.
So the first tip, rely upon visual cues and exhibition through dialogue and action to move your story forward.
Yep.
Instead of doing an info dump.
Don't do an info dump.
Oh,
Even in a game jam.
Info dump.
Not in a game jam game. Not in a real game. Don't do it.
Nope.
BYT, gonna get some lemon tea. Awesome, Cloud. Enjoy your lemon tea. See when you get back.
No info dumps.
No info dumps. Don't do it.
Tip number 2. It's okay.
It's okay to use Tell. Yeah.
It's okay to use Tell with tutorials, but try to avoid large on-screen tutorials with a glut of text.
Right.
One battle should be enough to teach the basics of a game jam game's combat system.
Yes.
One battle.
Going to both of the games we've played for Dagica this past 2 weeks. Cinderella didn't do it right. In our opinion, that long tutorial just slapped on there too much. Horror Veil gave you a book you could read, and that was it.
Yeah.
Now, granted, to be fair to Star Mage and Barry, Cinderella had a more complex battle system.
Yes, it did.
But there's still other ways to do it other than just the battle starts, I'm ready to fight, text. Nobody wants that.
You kill your momentum that way. What I prefer is your first battle being a tutorial where the NPC walks you through.
Right.
Walks you through it.
Right.
And you learn by doing.
Yes.
And for a game jam game, it should only take that one first battle to teach you the battle system, and that's it. And then turn you loose, and you use what you learned to keep doing it.
Right. We've also considered that'll be the next tip. We won't talk about that just yet, but for regular games, for non-game jam games, same thing, but you get more to work with than one battle. For example, FF7 Remake gives you, like the first couple of Mako battle reactors, a little thing appears on the side, and it's literally just 3 or 4 sentences, and it says, do this, do this, do this. So, but that's not for game jam games. You get one fight in game jam games to teach them how to do a fight.
Yep, and then that's it.
Then it's it. Let them get through your game. And yes, Spider, I love how the Mario and Luigi games handle their battle tutorials. I like how most Nintendo does their stuff.
Nintendo is a good example to follow because their target audience tends to be younger. So they condense everything and you actually learn the system in 1 or 2 fights.
Because Nintendo's always been very user-friendly.
Yes.
That's one of their big things for most of their games, like Smash Brothers. Very user-friendly.
Yeah.
People in the RPG Maker Web forum suggest to me the battle system, yes, for game jam games, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Nintendo would be the king of game jams.
They really, really would. I don't want crazy complex systems in general game jams.
Yeah, you're right.
And that is, in Simpros, that is a player choice. Some people want the complex stuff, others do not. But in a game jam game, 100% you're right, Simpros.
Yeah.
In fact, to give Simpros some love, his systems, RNGs aside, are simple enough that you can pick it up in one fight and play it for the rest of the game.
Right.
Oh, thank you for the follow.
Woohoo!
Thank you, Loud Crow. And we didn't get, turn on the alert so we'll hear follow the Yellow Brick Road. Sorry about that. Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you. Hope you join us. Hope you follow us. All right.
Okay, here's the final tip on this.
Yes.
Consider offering access to your tutorial in the game's main menu.
Yeah.
Or even from the pause menu.
Yeah.
Or both.
Right.
Instead of just from within the game itself.
And yes, so if the combat is complex, it's like wading slowly through the mechanics. Yeah, you're 100% correct, human. So what we're suggesting for game jam games is create a new menu that says manual or mechanics or how to play or something.
Yeah.
Have them go there, they can read it, and then when they're starting the game, they already know how to play, how to wade through your battle system, if it's an RPG game, whatever's, and they can just go in and play it. Yeah. That is so much more effective than stopping the action to teach.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
And then have it available in the main menu if possible. To
easy access.
Easy access.
I hate when you have to dig through a menu, through a UI, dig to try to find a manual.
Yes, exactly. Like the Mario and Luigi game. Nintendo does do it right a lot. They do a lot of things wrong, but mechanics, and it's okay, Dog Fox. We're here. This is a discussion-based thing. We're always here to talk to each other, give advice. We are not the end-all, be-all. You guys, if you have a piece of advice, throw it out there.
Yeah, this is an open discussion forum. So y'all have a thought on these topics, throw it out there.
Throw it out there. Are we jumping to the next one?
Yeah, let's jump to the next one.
And the Twitter bird landed on our slime.
Oh, okay. Don't walk away from the game jam without learning a new skill or learning a new lesson, tip, or technique in game development.
This is the most important thing we can give you. If you walk away from a game jam and you haven't learned a little something, then I would say the game jam was not successful for you. Even if it's just how to streamline a map, or how to use a plugin a different way, or how to use an event, if it's RPG Maker, a different way. Always walk away from a game jam with some, because that's the whole main
That's the whole point, is to learn.
Stretch your skills. You could always go the Dark Souls tutorial fashion. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Trial by fire. Make or die.
So the first tip for this, watch all the other entries including a playthrough of your own game.
You can get so much knowledge about how to make games watching other people's games.
Exactly.
And going, that was a good idea. I hadn't thought of that. I should have done that. Let's try that next time. Those, oh my gosh, you can learn so much.
You learn from your colleagues.
Learn from your colleagues.
Oh, here's a second tip. If your game is being streamed live or it has a playthrough uploaded to YouTube, don't defend your game or rebut criticism from the judges or the audience. Take notes and learn.
What Human just said. Here's a pro tip. Read the judges' feedback on other games as well as your.
Yes.
100% Human. Absolutely.
Because you're here to learn. Okay, third tip.
Hey, Tron, welcome to the stream. Good to see you, man.
If watching the game being streamed live, don't help the judge with advancement in your game unless they specifically ask for your assistance.
Yes, because sometimes a judge wants to figure it out. And if you jump in, it may not count against you, but it might.
Yeah.
It's better that you just, if they say, hey, as a developer here, how do you do this? Oh, this. Okay, thank you. I learned a lot from Barry's write-up, all the games for Hauser. Dude, Barry is amazing, and his write-up, their write-up for the Herald Game Jam was nothing short of God tier.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. Well, there's a bug, right? If there's a bug, right, there, we're talking about advancement. But if there's a bug, if they encounter a bug, please say, this is a bug. You know, like they try to open a door and the door keeps closing, that's a bug. Something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, if someone could link Barry's document to the Herald Game Jam.
Yeah, link that document.
If you could do that, or someone, that is how you do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, here's the last tip. Don't argue the results, even if you fully believe that you are in the right.
Right.
If you don't win, accept the results gracefully.
Yes.
Instead, learn. Game jams are not about winning a contest. They are about learning new skills.
Now, we'll give a caveat. If you feel that you've been wrong, there's nothing wrong with talking about it to people who will listen, but please don't turn it into a big thing. You want to be professional. Be professional.
Yeah. Oh, I would say if you don't agree with the results,
right,
I would take it up privately with
the judges.
With the judges. Okay, the judges of the host.
Yes.
I would not make it into a public brawl.
Yeah.
I wouldn't bring it up in public.
Please don't.
Because no matter what, whether you win, lose, or draw, you look. By doing that, you look unprofessional.
Right. Even if even if your criticism is 100% legit.
Right.
And that just don't. So the biggest thing, of course, is the top part. Don't walk away from the game jam without learning a new skill or technique.
Exactly.
We can never give you better advice than that. If you walk away, even if it's one little thing,
even if it's one thing,
you have won 100%.
Because now you can take that one thing and put it in your next game and be even better.
Be even better. And you always want to grow. Game development, actually everything creative, Teal. Game development, writing, filmmaking, music, all of that. That is 100% lifelong.
Yeah, Spider Lily is correct. This applies to all kinds of contests, not just game jams.
All contests, for everything, including the professionalism, but for the learning, that's all creative things. You are always going to learn. You will never. Teal and I are learning. Teal and I learn all the time. So you guys, anyone, always learn.
Yeah.
Walk away. One thing, you got it.
Yeah, and there's the October jam. So yeah, that's coming up in a month or two. So
Yep. And your own jam video, exactly. And yeah, the Smile Game Jam Builder. No prizes, just learning about the engine.
Just learning about the engine, yeah.
That is brilliant, Pros. Let us know you could link me privately or link me publicly to the game. I'd like to see what you did.
We'd like to see that.
Yeah, because Smile's a good engine. It's coming along. All right, and now we're at the end.
Yeah.
So now we want to talk about discussion points, questions. Like Drass says, I like to sharpen my skills, but always up learning at least one lesson.
Yeah.
But one lesson never learned is working too damn hard. Well, that's a thing too, Drass, is when you are a creative and you are a hardcore creative, which I consider you to be that, you're going to always overextend yourself. That is a problem I fight on a regular basis. Teal has to rein me in.
Yep.
I overcommit, I overdo, and I end up running myself ragged. So I feel you. Whoever says decisions like these are very subjective, unless it's going obvious that the judges are being unfair, I would say accept and move on. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
In most instances, yeah.
So quick announcement again, just to make sure everyone's here while I got y'all listening. We, Studio Blue, are going to host an RPG Maker MZ Game Jam in September. I'm going to make sure I got it while everyone's listening.
Yes.
So please, if you have a copy of RPG Maker MZ or will have one in September, please enter. It's called the You Got It, Now Use It.
I want to see what everybody can come up with and stretch that engine, stretch your skills. I want to see what you guys can make of it.
I insisted on keeping cattle prods as nearby motivation, either carrots or sticks. Hey, carrot, stick. You know, they both have their pluses and their minuses.
I have actually considered a cattle prod at a couple of points on some of the teams I've worked on in the past. Not out of the question.
Not out of the question, Berkeley. Sometimes you just got to zap them in the butt a few times.
Yeah.
But anyone else have discussion points, questions related to this in general? This Friday.
Or their own experience.
Or their own experience. Yes. Even if it goes counter to what we said, we'd like to hear your experiences.
Yeah.
Sorry, I will be midterm during that time. Join the jam. Oh, no problem. Absolutely. Not a problem, dog. I want to say this about you, Steel and Teal. I love how you do reviews and how you give people guidance. You have no trouble on mentioning the flaws of a project, but you do it in a way that people don't feel they are dumb. That's good leadership and coaching skills. Props to you. Thank you, Vero.
Thank you, Vero. We try to keep in mind that the focus is to educate, to teach.
Yes. Yes. We want you guys to learn. If you guys learn, then our job is done.
Because you guys know my end goal.
Yes.
My end goal is to have indie development trounce on AAA.
100%.
And be at the top of the pile and go, aha, winner.
Yes. We are very pro indie development.
Very pro indie.
Yes. A cattle prod's favorite weapon. I create data visualization for a living. All feedback is so important. Even if you disagree, it is still valuable because 1, you might be wrong, and 2, it tells you something about your clients.
Yes, it 100%. Does. It does tell you about what your clients, your customers, your audience are looking for.
Yes. There is no, you will always need feedback.
Yeah.
That is always the case. So this Friday at our AMA, we are going to go over the rules of the Game Jam.
Yes.
But we are not going to release the required element until the Game Jam begins.
Right.
So you can't start development of your game. But we're going to talk about the rules as to how long it'll be, what the prizes, if any, will be available.
Now, Steel.
I giggled like a little kid.
He giggles.
So we'll go over that this Friday.
Yeah.
So if you are interested in this or think you might be interested, please show up. I will have a midterm in college. Sorry. It's okay, dog. It's all right, man.
It is perfectly all right. There's plenty of other game jams that are happening. And honestly, what you're doing is so much more important.
Yes, so much more important.
Yeah. Please study well, keep yourself healthy, and knock those exams out of the park.
I know that RPG Maker Web/Degeka is going to be doing an RPG Maker MZ Game Jam relatively soon. I don't know if it's going to be October or November.
I'm not sure when it is.
But it will be at some point in the future.
Yeah.
And then I know that the month of October is Hawk Zombie's Hawktober Game Jam.
Yes.
His annual game jam.
He has his annual game jam then.
Yes. And exactly what Simpros just said. itch.io has hundreds of game jams at any one time. Yeah. So all of that are options. Hello, Altamore. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully MZ supports Linux before the game jam. Yeah.
We hope so too.
We hope so too. Yeah. Engine should be accessible to everybody no matter what.
Right.
I'm the first participant on Hawktober. That's true. You were. So, Cloud, whether you're in our game jam, Hawk's game jam, or both, we look forward to see great stuff with you. So, and welcome to the stream, Altamore, if I didn't say that already. So this game jam of ours is to promote RPG Maker MZ.
Yes.
And that is why we did this right here.
Yeah.
This
to kind of get you primed, get you ready and ramped up for this.
Yes. I was so into this, Teal, I actually didn't hit the buttons for the slime.
Oh.
At all. So I'm gonna have the slime pop up on the slime now a little bit. Give it, because he got to have his fun. He got to have his.
That's why he's frowning.
He's got his little like sign now. See, he was waiting.
Aww.
I know. He's gonna have a talk with me later.
I think so. You're gonna have to give him some cookies.
Give him lots of cookies. Thanks. I love the vibe you two have already. Thank you, Altamore. We try. for what epic. You know what I really want to see? I want to see a game jam game in the RM community that gives full release of any engine up to a certain one. So we'll say like XP all the way to MZ, but is restricted on theme and element.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. So that way it doesn't matter what engine you use, but how you use it. That would blow my mind. I would love to see that.
Well, that's something to think about for the future.
Yes. Simpros Studio. Simpros has done a bunch of games. Oh, yeah. Simpros is very prolific. One of the most prolific developers in the community.
Got an extensive portfolio of games.
And we played a bunch of them. Yeah, seriously, great. Seriously, I think that at some point there needs to be like XP to MZ, and you have to have it like a certain theme, and you have to have those certain elements, like a character with a certain name, a color, or an object or a line. You know, things you have to have. And God, that's a lot, Simpros. So maybe that's something for the future.
Yeah, we'll think about it.
Yeah. I would also like to do engines outside of the RPG Maker engine, maybe on Unity or Unreal, but we'll see. You know, it's all for the future.
Yes.
You know, that would be an interesting game jam where you have to take a previous game jam entry you did and do it in a 3D engine. Oh my God. That would be amazing. And we'll give people a lot of length of time to learn the engine.
Yeah.
So that would be crazy.
Ooh.
So
that's something to think about too.
Oh, Drash, we love your work.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So anyway, any last minute questions? Because this is one of our shorter ones, which is fine. We have short ones. A great stream tonight. Oh yeah, back to the grind tomorrow.
Yeah, it's true.
So before you all leave, please remember Wednesdays from 6 p.m. Central, which is 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. For about 3 hours, we stream our critical play of Dragon Quest XI, where Teal is a player.
Yay!
The same time on Thursday, we stream our critical play of Horizon Zero. Thank you! Thank you for the follow, Ultimo! So Thursday, same time.
Yep.
Is the critical play where I play Horizon Zero Dawn. And then Friday, same time, is our AMA where we drink adult beverages. We have some fun. We just chat about it. It's an Ask Us Anything.
Yeah.
And Steel gets drunk. I did not mean to get drunk last Friday. That was hilarious.
Oh, that was funny. We'll see what happens this Friday, huh?
Yeah, Wednesday kills slime, Thursday kills robot. Same bet time, same bat channel. Yeah, the schedule should be on our Twitch page.
Yeah.
We are going to kick our butts on getting other things finished up to and including our channel trailers. So we're trying to get up. Oh, dude, I was so sloshed, Simpros. You don't even know.
Oh, it was hilarious.
You don't even know.
He was starting to slide and just put his head down on the table. And I'm like, oh, God.
I don't get drunk on wine, and Teal had this rose wine.
It was
and it messed my world up. I had like a glass and a half, 2 glasses, and I was ruined. It was great.
But it was from a Apothic, so it was good.
I'll send drunk energy so it happens again. So yeah, this Friday on our AMA.
Yeah. We'll unveil some more details on the game jam. Okay? So until then.
All right. So if we don't have any last questions, it'll be time to call it. So we'll give a minute.
Just a minute,
A minute. If anyone wants to throw out a question or a comment about game jams, about this topic or anything related to Studio Blue, then we're going to just go ahead and zooch on out. And
woohoo! We're going to zooch and scooch.
Yeah. Oh, I did say God tier. So
you did. You said God tier.
It's exclamation point, God tier, space, plus sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Type it in. Because he did say God tier.
I did say God tier.
Yes.
It officially needs to be entered into the record.
Yes, need to enter it into the record. We need to count it.
Is Hawk still streaming? Because if so, we'll raid him once we're over. He is still streaming. Fantastic.
Ooh.
Fantastic. All right. Okay, yes. So this is it, everybody. So we're going to go ahead and call it for the evening. Yep. Yes. You guys, as usual, have been absolutely amazing.
This has been a really good discussion. Y'all brought up some good points. Thanks.
Yeah, we love the hell out of you guys. We will see you Wednesday. And we cannot wait to continue literally all of this. It is going to be a great time. So, Teal, shall I go ahead and give the outro phrase?
Yes, go ahead and do it.
Let's do it. me. If you like what you saw, lay the smack down that like button below, subscribe to our channel, consider supporting us on Patreon, connect with us over Facebook, Twitter, Discord, and we'll see you in the next video.
See you next time.
Oh, you make me wanna talk back to you. Say it like that. If I hate you, then find someone new.